Hey Suzuki parents, in this video I'm going to talk about the box violin or the foam violin and when we can transition into the real violin. So we have skills that we're trying to develop in the first two phases of pre-twinkle that are pre-instrument skills. Excuse me. So the pre-twinkle students begin their journey on box violins or foam violins. It is rare for a child in that age range of 3 to 5 to begin on a real violin. And starting on the box violin or the foam violin allows time for the skills needed to develop in terms of coordination and sidedness, so which side controls which part. I have a little foam violin here. So that's what it looks like. And we have the dowel rod bow. Understanding that the violin is the left hand's responsibility and the bow is the right hand responsibility. And then also we deal with issues with crossing the midline, so bringing this hand, the right hand, over to the left side of the body and the left hand over to the right side of the body. We need to develop some of those things before having a real instrument. So in addition to developing those skills, we also want to develop respect for the instrument, right? Understanding how we take care of an instrument, what's appropriate and not appropriate. So if a child is at the point where they're just swinging this around or throwing it, obviously we're not ready for a real violin. So we'll just continue on learning our posture, steps, ear training, rhythmic development in the bow arm until that time occurs for us to move into the real violin. So we introduce all the little aspects of the mechanics of violin playing individually, and after we master the individual steps, we put them together, and then we focus on having them work together and becoming fluid in that combination. And above all, the real violin is something that we earn. Students graduate to a real violin when they have a good bow hold, a good violin hold. They can hold the foam violin in playing position correctly for the duration of at least one twinkle variation with their eyes looking at their fingers. Focus down where the strings would be. Okay, the fingers and where the bridge or the bow would make contact on the string. And again, why do we have a box violin? It provides an opportunity to develop an appreciation for detail and excellence in following instruction. Translation, it allows us to focus on the mechanics of playing, to build good habits before we give a child an instrument that makes sound, because it is distracting. They'll want to make sound on it and play it before we can focus on the other things. So it becomes more of a hindrance than a help. Your child is not going to become disinterested in the meantime while we're working on the a fake violin. We motivate them in other ways. So a motivating factor is the reception of a real violin. So working up to it and earning it, that can be motivating. Okay. So we build enthusiasm as we're getting closer to getting the real violin. We do have a faster rate of progress for children in that age group because the lighter weight of the foam violin. This is much lighter. It's more manageable than a real violin. So if we can get the body to do what it needs to do to hold this correctly, because there's nothing like it. The child has no prior experience that lends to holding a violin or holding a bow. So if we can kind of develop that physically before we give them the actual instrument, which is a little bit heavier, it is very helpful. Again, and it helps free us from the distractions of actually playing a real violin without the proper posture and avoiding bad habits. So children will often, on a real violin, go off and play by themselves, or rather than waiting for parents' help during practice, and then we end up with bad habits. And keep in mind that bad habits take a long time to correct. So just 1 week of practicing poorly can lead us to an additional year to undo that action. So, you know, whatever goes in sticks, and it takes quite a bit of effort to take it out, and then more effort to put the right thing in. So if you learn something wrong, if you do it one time incorrectly, then it takes, let's see, another time to neutralize it, and then another time to put in the correct information. So like 3 times as long doing it the wrong way rather than the correct way the first time. So yeah, so that's about the box violin, or Foamalin we also call this. Sometimes we make box violins out of macaroni and cheese boxes. It just depends on the student, what we're gonna do. And then we transition to real violin. So I hope that helps you understand why we have the box violin, foam violin, and then when you can transition into the real violin. Thanks for watching.